Hello and welcome to the Forex Market Weekly Outlook for this week, April 12 to 16, 2020. My name is Gbp and I'm your host on MS Africa Academy. Today I'm going to be showing you how to trade the market, look into the market for the week and see some of the things or trades that we may be opportune to take during this week. So we are going to be going straight into the charts, but before we do this, I want to remind you to please subscribe to this channel and click like, comment if you have any question or anything to add to what you hear or what you see on today's video. Also, I want you to know that future stock, spot currency trading have large potential rewards, but also large potential risks. So you want to be aware of this risk and be willing to accept them before investing in currency trading. So let's go on to the chart and let's see what is happening and how we want to trade during this week. Okay, so we're on DXY, which is US dollar currency index, and we know that this has been downtrending for some times, and then in the last couple of weeks from December it began to push up, and then last week candle closed bearish. It closed bearish just around this support line that we have here, and then today it has begun moving down a little. Okay, looking at it and seeing the fact that the push up closed around the 50 moving average on the weekly time frame, and last week candle closing bearish. My bias is looking towards bearish. However, before I proceed from here, let's quickly take a look at the Forex Factory and see the news we have this week, because we have high impact news on US dollar from this week. Okay, so on Monday we have US dollar high impact news and Canadian dollar high impact news. We also have for Tuesday high impact news on US dollar around 2:30 p.m. Nigerian time, and then for Wednesday we have New Zealand dollar and US dollar high impact news. Okay, so it looks like for almost every day in the week we have high impact news on US dollar, so we want to be careful not to jump into too many trades that have US dollar in them. Okay, on Thursday we have Australian dollar and US dollar high impact news, and on Friday CNY. Okay, that should be China currency. All right, so that's what we have high impact news on the week. So for Monday to Thursday we have high impact news on US dollar, so that means that you want to be careful when you're trading US dollar this week. Okay, but aside from that, from what I can see here, it is likely for US dollar to fall, but if it moves on and closes up here, then it will confirm the change in the direction which started from around here. Okay, so that means that this change in direction is going to continue up. That's if we see it pushing up, but for now it is pushing down, and that would only mean that this is a retracement or a correction to this push down. So let's go on and see Euro US dollar. For Euro US dollar, last week we have this big a kind of engulfing bullish candle. Okay, but it also looks a little bit like an indecision candle as it has wick above and below it, and that is why we have to not jump into the market. So I have a line here, a horizontal line here, that gives me like a mini resistance to around where we are now. So if we see it above the area of 1.93, then if that's 1.93, yes, then we'll be looking to have a continuation of the bullish push we started last week. However, if it stops around where it is now and begin to push down, then it will only mean that something like head and shoulder pattern may be formed, and then we will have it pushing all the way down. But aside from that, if it continues being bullish the way it is, then we would expect it to move all the way up from here. Okay, so we will keep our eyes on this. So my bias is still bullish neutral kind of, so more neutral until I see the clear direction where this wants to go. So right now it touched on the 50 moving average and it couldn't close below it, and it's begin to push up last week. So we'll see how this week continues. If it continues to push up, then we'll also continue to do a buy with it. Sorry about that disturbance. So let's move on. We have Euro GBP. Let's take a look at Euro GBP. Euro GBP, we have this huge bullish candle last week, closing last week. However, we also see that the candle, like we saw in Euro USD, it looks a little bit of indecision because of the wick above and below it. So we're going to keep our eyes open, especially because it closed just by this resistance, initial supports of this area, which becomes a resistance. It closed by heat and it looks like this is beginning to push down. However, if we see heat above this area on our lower time frame, closing above there, then we'll continue buying towards this area. However, but if it continues down, then we will also continue. We will also continue selling, okay? So sorry about the disturbance today. So if we continue down from here, then we will continue to sell based on this downtrend. Okay, this downtrend which started here. So if this only means a correction, then we will continue to sell it back down this way. But if we have it this week, at any time this week, closing above our resistance here, then we'll sell it back up, or we'll do a buy up to this point. Let's move on to GBP USD. For GBP USD, we have obviously an uptrending market. Okay, we obviously have an uptrending market, and if you look at it from here, it's pushed up, and so on and so forth. So last week candle, however, was bullish, bearish. Let me remove this arrow so you can see it clearly. Okay, so last week candle was bearish. We have this bearish candle last week, closing last week. However, it is still around our bull area. Okay, so that means that the uptrend may continue from this week. It is also not impossible for it to continue its way down. So we'll pay our attention. Looking at this candle, which formed the beginning of the down push from some weeks back, it could mean that this is going to continue for some times. However, it may also stop where it is right now. So you keep your eyes open, put in your entry rules to know whether you need to enter or not. Okay, but we are still in an uptrending market, and we will be looking more to do a buy until we see a clear change in direction, perhaps below this initial resistance which was broken at this point. So if you see a close below this resistance, then we will know that okay, there's likely now ready for a change in direction for the bears to take over. But currently the bulls are still the winner. So if it continues bullish, then we'll be looking to do a buy. And judging from the fact that US dollar looks a little bit weak, and Euro and GBP seems to be stronger than it, then we may be looking to do more of buy then. Okay, so then this one, Gbp Jpy. For Gbp Jpy, we see a clear uptrending market. However, last week candle was bearish, so it is possible for the bear move to also go down a little more this week. Looking at the way the candle closed last, okay, so it may come down a little, down to this around 148. It is around 150.2 now. It may come down to around 148.2 or thereabouts, okay, before it begins to now continue its push up. And it can continue from where it is right now. So you keep your eyes open. If you are going to trade it down here, you just know that you are still trading against the direction, because the major push is uptrend. Okay, it is still pushing up, and we are not too sure of when this correction is going to close. So it's going to be over. This is a correction. Last week candle started the correction. We are not sure if the correction is totally done already. So if it is not totally done, it can come all the way down here, hit this place and continue its way up, and it may continue from where it is now. In all, we are looking to see an opportunity for the continuation of the trend, okay, which is up. Then let's go to Euro Canadian dollar. Euro Canadian dollar has been bearish, okay, and last week candle looks like we had some correction to the bearish move. Okay, today's candle has started pushing up, but it doesn't mean that it's going to continue its way up. What we can see is a downtrend around here, and especially looking at last week candle, despite the fact that it closed bullish, it has a long wick above it, and that could mean a change in direction, which could mean that the correction is completed and it wants to go down. It may also consolidate for a while, so my bias is more of neutral bearish. Okay. And then we have USD JPY. USD JPY is it's been uptrending for some times, and then last week candle started this way as bearish, and we saw that it couldn't close below this initial support. Okay, it couldn't close below this, as at last week closed just above it, so we would have expected a continuation back up like this. But today's candle is beginning to come down. It could come down and form two bottom. Okay, it is possible for it to come down here and form two bottom and begin to go back up. So you want to be careful jumping in. It may be a continuation of this push up. It could also mean that this is ready to continue going down now. So you keep your eyes on this. As long as it remains below this initial resistance, which now turns to a support at this point, as long as it remains below it, we will look to sell. But if it comes back and closes above this, that the area is 109.6. Okay, as long as it remain above 109.6, we'll be looking to buy. If it remains below it, we'll be looking to sell. Okay, and that will also be dependent on what is happening with US dollar for the week. Now, this one has been bearish for quite a while. It's been bearish, and it's now around our support area. It got to a support area, and it looks like it begins to change direction to go up, but it's still in this consolidating phase. Last week candle closed bullish, so I expect this to remain bullish, maybe towards this area. Okay, so it could do the bullish push could go all the way here before it continue down, or it could remain in this consolidation for a while before finally breaking free. Okay, so this may be some kind of retracement, but it doesn't look like the retracement is completed, especially judging from the kind of candle we have last week, although he has wick above and below, which makes it looks like an indecision candle, but it is bullish, and then because it is around the support, it has just pushed above the support. We expect it to push all the way to this area before it begins to come down. Then Euro NZD, let's remove these things we have here first. Okay, so Euro NZD. It also got to around the support here before we saw this turn. It formed a wick and began to go up. Now it has pushed to some extent. It may continue this downtrend again, or it can go all the way to here before it closes. Last week candle closed bullish, so it is not impossible for you to get all the way to this point this week. It may also continue bearish from where it is right now. So you put in your entry rules and know exactly when to enter. Knowing that this is more of bearish trend will let you know what to do. Okay, it is more bearish trend, but currently last week candle closed bullish, and it's been bullish for some times. Okay, for the last 4 weeks, kind of, it looks more bullish. So because of that, we can remain bullish too until we see a change in direction. And even if we are going to remain bullish, it also doesn't look like it may be for an extended period of time. Okay, so maybe it gets to this point and then it begins its way down, or it could actually change direction from where it is right now. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on euro for especially to see if it remains strong. If euro remains strong, then we'll be getting to do our buy up to this point before the change in direction happens. Then we have gold. Let's look at gold. For gold, we got to this our supports, touched it, and then it turned and began to go up. Last week candle was indecision, but judging from the candle that we have the week before, which is this one, this is it called pin bar. Okay, see the candle, very tiny long wick below it. It signifies changes in direction, and it could mean that we're going to see some bullish push at least up to this point, up to around 1783. 1783. That's some 400 from where pips from where we are right now. Okay, so let's see what happens. It looks more bullish for now until there is a change in direction fully. If we have it below the support, then we'll be looking to continue this downtrend we started from around here. USD Canadian dollar. This has been bearish for some times, and last week candle closed bearish. It may also remain bearish this week. Okay, and if it remains bearish, you can come to this side, or there could be a change in direction, but so far it's been bearish, and my bias still remains bearish. Okay, so we have this. It's a bullish trend. As we can see, it's an uptrending market, and all of this looks like some retracement to the trend. And last week candle closed indecision. Even the week before, we've been having some quite number of indecision candles in the market. So my bias on this is neutral bullish. You could go on to continue the bullish push, or you could remain in consolidation for some times. For NZD USD, let's also close this and see what happens. This is an uptrending market, and it looks like it is ready to continue the push from what we have from 2 weeks ago. Okay, so it is likely to continue the push up this week. So my bias is neutral bullish. And we have this. It's been a downtrend for some times. Then this uptrend started pushing, and it goes above 50 moving average. It looks like last week candle looks like some retracement to this push, some correction to the push which started here, and we expect it to continue its way up this week. However, if we find it below this 50 moving average, below 1.91, then we'll continue to sell and continue this downtrend which has happened there. But if it remains above the area where it is right now, then we'll consider it bullish. For Euro JPY, it's been bullish also for some times now. Last week candle also closed bullish. The last 3 weeks have been bullish. It is retracing or correcting right now. But after the correction, we'll look for more of buy opportunity, perhaps to this resistance up here. Okay, so we'll leave it to continue its consolidation until it's done. What do we have here? Let's also remove all this and see. Okay, so it looks like we have this big push, we have this correction. Last week candle was indecision. However, this still remains bullish, so we are likely going to see the bullish push continue this week. Or since last 2 weeks has been like this, last week also closed this way with week above it, could also still continue the retracement or correction to some points before it continues up. So what will help in this regard is your entry rules. Your rules for knowing what is happening in the market. Okay, the major trend has been bullish. That's just it. The major trend has been bullish, but we began to see some change in direction recently. Okay, like 2 weeks ago we saw this. Last week and we also played around a little and also closed down here. So we're going to watch this week and see what happens. It is likely to continue the uptrend. So that's what we're going to keep our eyes on for this week. Gbp NZD also looks a little bit like what we just saw. That's been downtrend for some times, then the uptrend began, and then we have this that looks like the correction to the uptrend, and then we expect continuation of this uptrend today. From this week. So this is what I mean. So we have this pushing up from this 50 moving average and kind of retracing or correcting like this. So for this week, going forward, we are looking at something like, a push up like this, which may or may not happen. But if it doesn't happen, then we will wait to see it below some areas here before we can conclude that this is going to continue selling. But for now, my bias is more bullish on GBP NZD. Okay, last week candle on this one closed clearly bearish. Okay, and so this week candle, today's candle has gone up a little bit, but it could be a correction to this downtrend that started, and this big push of the bearish candle. And after this correction, I will look more for a bearish bias. I will look for sell opportunity instead because of what we have in the current time. So so once it corrects if it completes the correction, then we'll be looking to sell. Okay, this push down like this. Okay, we have a big bearish candle for closing last week. It is an engulfing candle, and so it could mean that we'll see some correction and then continuation of that bearish move, at least maybe to some point around there before it continues. Though we know that this looks very bullish, but it also got around a support before we see this big push. Okay, sorry, around a resistance. We have a resistance somewhere around here. Okay, it got close to that resistance before it pushed down. Okay, so it may still go all the way to that resistance before the main push, or it could push down more from here before it continues its way up. So let's check Gbp Aud lastly. Alright, so we see this one, it's been downtrend for some times, and it looks like all of this looks more like correction, and we have it touching trend line. This trend line, last week candle is bearish, and we expect to see a close below this trend line this week. If we do, then we'll be looking for sell opportunity. We'll be looking for a downtrend move. Okay, so that's basically that from today's class. Do you enjoy what you learned today? Do you have any question? and or would you like to learn how to trade? I just put together a training on day trading for short-term traders. I notice I have been doing more of swing trading, which is more of my own style in the training I give out to people. And some people have come to me and say, okay, how about those of us who do more of short-term trading? And in my academy, I have the Day Traders Arcade, which is a very good way of learning to do day trading right. So I just put together a free training on day trading, how to uncover the day trading profit secrets. Okay, so you may want to watch the video. I put the link down there. Search for it and watch the free training. And if you like to take a paid course, please reach out to me and I'll be very happy to welcome you to our academy. Thank you very much and have a beautiful day ahead of you.